Leading Brexit supporter and British MEP Nigel Farage has claimed it is time for Prime Minister Mrs May to chuck Chequers and offer the EU one last Brexit ultimatum. On Thursday, after the informal Salzburg summit, EU leaders ripped into Mrs May's Chequers proposal, with the President of the European Council claiming Mrs May's controversial blueprint would not work as it risked undermining the integrity of the EU's single market. Speaking on his LBC show, former Ukip leader Nigel Farage claimed Chequers was the wrong deal, before offering Mrs May advice on the Brexit deal she should present to Brussels. He said, she was talked into this Chequers deal by her own civil servants, who played a superior role to David Davis, which is why he simply had to walk away. Barnier played the Northern Ireland card to an extent and she allowed herself to be boxed in. That is what it was actually all about. It is a deal that will not free us from the European Court of Justice. It is a deal that will tie us into a European rulebook. It's the wrong deal. Chequers is Brexit in name only. It simply isn't good enough, and I think if the Prime Minister recognizes that she is in a completely unwinnable position, she has a fantastic opportunity to not just chuck Chequers, but to go back to Brussels and say, right, I know we have spent 2 years talking about this. I know we have not got long left, but here it is, folks. We have decided that actually, rather than opting back into bits of the European Union, we are going to have a clean break. We are leaving everything. We are leaving the single market, we are leaving the union, we are leaving the regulatory agencies, but we will make this one big generous offer to you that we can have a free trade deal with you and you can have a free trade deal with us, very much along the lines recently negotiated with Canada, but we can do better than that on services and other things, and we think is even better for you than us. It solves all the questions of the Irish border, as you keep repeatedly raising, and I tell you what, you have got until the end of November to take it or leave it, Farage added. And do you know something? I believe, and I have been saying this for a week, there is a change of mood in Europe. There is big pressure coming from German industry and elsewhere. I think, at the 11th hour, they would accept that deal, and that would be the best outcome possible, I think, for both sides. On Thursday following the EU's informal summit, some EU leaders warned about the problems with Theresa May's Chequers plan. Brexit news, Nigel Farage told Theresa May to offer the EU a Brexit ultimatum. Image, LBC Getty. Chequers is Brexit in name only. It simply isn't good enough. Nigel Farage. Mr Tusk has said that Chequers' proposals for dealing with the Irish border and trade relations after Brexit must be reworked and further negotiated. He said, the suggested framework would not work, it is undermining the single market. He added, in Ukip, we expect maximum progress and results in the Brexit talks. On Thursday morning, Malta's Prime Minister Joseph Muscat claimed there is an almost unanimous backing among leaders for Britain to have a second referendum. Czech Prime Minister Andrej Babiš, a businessman who won his election with his Eurosceptic stance, told BBC Radio 4's Today programme, we hope that finally reach a deal, but basically I am very unhappy that UK is leaving, so it will be better maybe to make another referendum and maybe the people, in the meantime, they could change their views because Europe has a lot of problems. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel told a press conference in Salzburg that substantial progress was needed on the UK's withdrawal agreement by the next European Council meeting in October. French President Emmanuel Macron was also critical of Brexit after he claimed Brits were pushed into voting to leave the EU by liars who predicted an easy solution. Speaking on Thursday afternoon, Prime Minister Mrs May defended her Chequers plan. She said, I am negotiating hard in the interest of the British people. I am also clear that we need to ensure there is no hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. She added, we are continuing to work for a good deal, but there is a lot of work to be done and I will drive to deliver for the British people.